All right, guys, today I'm going to show you two shots, okay? Note, the 8 ball is not frozen to the rail, and the cue ball and the 8 are not frozen together, okay? Two shots. Which one do you think might be called a foul? Okay, let's check it out. All right, guys, on shot number one, I did a tip lift shot, but note that my cue and tip went forward, okay? Not only back here, but also my tip surpassed the balls altogether. On the other shot, where I did an elevated lift, I simply moved my hand down and the tip went straight up, and actually the tip moved away from the balls. In some leagues, in BCA in particular, they don't allow brush strokes. However, the brush stroke is described as the cue not going in a forward motion and just brushing straight up. So if you thought that number one would be called a foul, you're incorrect. It's actually shot number two. There was no forward motion. In fact, if you see the slow-mo, the tip is actually moving away from the balls. This could be called a foul. Okay, guys, let's say you guys are both on the money ball, you and your opponent. All right, like this, the 8 ball. What would be the reason why you would want to do one of these shots? Okay, here, let's do it right here. Here we go. Perfect. Oh, it's almost frozen. There, let's say it's frozen. The reason is because you want to try to get that ball frozen to the rail. Why? Because then your opponent can't do the same shot. Your opponent now has a difficult, because the cue ball has to hit a rail, or the 8 ball has to hit another rail because this rail is dead to the 8 ball now. So it makes it a very hard safety. Now, why don't you just kick it maybe with a little spin, just miss the pocket jaw and bring it back and cut this in? It's not that easy of a shot. And if you rattle it, it's a sellout shot. Okay, so this kind of safety is very important. Okay, and now your opponent has a difficult shot. If you go this way, you're likely going to scratch. So the opponent now has to shoot off probably this way. So you can get our cue out of the way so the 8 doesn't hit it. Okay, and it's a sellout shot. Okay, so you've just put your opponent, by freezing that ball up to the rail, you put your opponent in a very difficult place to try to make a legal shot. Okay, let's look at a few other examples of how that type of shot can be used for other kinds of safeties as well. The 12 ball is frozen. The 10 is not. The 10 needs to hit a rail, and we get a hook on this 8 ball. Okay, simple Simon. Bang. All right, we got a good hook. Now here's a situation that will almost never happen. But hey, if it does, you can make that 8 without any risk of double hit or pushing, double hitting into one of these other balls beside it. Okay, very easy. Hey, legal shot, guys. So in summary, guys, yes, I've used this shot in league tournament play, even in Vegas in tournaments. I've used it many times, at least a dozen times, if not more. And most of the time, the opponent has no idea what's going on. Most of the time, the opponent thinks I'm just measuring something up, and then all of a sudden I go like this, make the shot, like I just did. And the opponent doesn't even know that I shot, and I walk away from the table, and the opponent is going, "What just happened?" All right. And I'm like, I did my shot, I hit the rail. And especially if you can get that ball frozen, if you're both on the money ball, man, that's a great shot, guys. Great shot to have in the bag. Just make sure your tip is moving forward, in both the back and your tip moves in a forward motion, and it should not be called a foul in any game.
And also, guys, I forgot to mention, always keep a finger or a hand on your cue at all times. This is just a demonstration, but in league or tournament play, keep a hand on the cue or it could be called a foul.
If your tip is going straight up or even straight and backwards away from the balls, you could be called on a foul. Okay, guys, talk soon. Next lesson.